Casio launched this beautiful GM700 metal watch in 3 shades: silver, gold, and black purple. Although the first two are better known, that is, silver and gold, silver is slightly cheaper than gold and purple. This must be due to the type of process that is made to gold and other shades. This metal shell has very reflective parts, and others not so much, making a contrast in all the metal that gives it enough elegance and beauty. In this video, we're going to look at the 2 silver and gold watches and make a comparison with their previous models, the GA710. Today, we're showcasing the new Casio G-Shock GM700. To clarify, the models ending in 1A usually come out first, featuring colors like black, black with red or silver. Then, we have models like the GM700G, which are generally in gold. These golden versions often come with more additives or details, making them a bit pricier due to their impressive metallic finishes and striking gold accents. So both of these are GM metal. GM stands for metal frame, but let's check them out. Here's the box. They're pretty big. They come with the 5522 manual, which matches the 5522 code on the box. These new watches come in a big, almost lid-colored box with smaller tin boxes inside. It's actually my first time opening these boxes, so we're seeing this for the first time here in the video. We open them up and you can see the warranty cards inside each one. There's a silver one and a gold one. Let's go ahead and open the silver one. Wow, that's impressive. Model GM710, priced at $200, very impressive. And now here's the gold one. This one's more expensive. As you can see, the gold always costs a bit more, about $40 extra, but it's noticeable. I like both, but the gold always stands out a bit more, even if it's hard to believe. When you compare the two, this part here is really reflective, almost like water. It's as shiny as a mirror. They designed it like that to make it look like liquid metal, and it really pops against the outer bezel, which is more matte but still has a shine. It's really impressive. This model is pretty well known. If you're familiar, you'll know what I mean. It's the GA710 1A and GA710 GB, the upgraded versions of these models. The difference in look is because instead of having a resin case, it's now all metal. What I really like is the fact that the main button matches the color of the case. The other buttons are black, which maybe isn't totally symmetrical, but that light button, the central one, adds a bit of a futuristic vibe. When you look at it head on, it gives the whole thing a unified look, all in the same metal color. The GA710 is one of the best sellers, and here we're comparing it with the GM700 model. Look, the GM's case is a bit thicker than the GA710, and you can see it better from the sides. It's also reinforced with hexagonal screws. The buttons match the colors, black for black, gold for gold. The main difference is in the case, but there are a few other differences too. First off, the hands. The central line on the GA710's hands is a creamy color, while on the GM700, those lines are dark. The GM700 also has a medium lead color on the inner bezel. It's not black, so we get a mix of black, gold, and lead with some white lines. On the GA710, though, it's just black and gold with no other colors. Honestly, I would have liked it better if the GM700 was only in gold and black too, without lighter colored parts like gray and white. On the function indicator, like for the timer, there's also a slight change. Before, we saw a gold dot with gold concentric lines around it. Now, on the GM700, there's no dot, and the lines are white, a bit thinner too. Also on the right indicator, the line on the GA710 is gold, while on the new model, it's white. Here, the letters around the outer edge are gold, but on this one, they're black. If they were gold, they'd be hard to read, so in this case, the black actually makes sense to give it some contrast. What I really like is the gold button. It gives it an extra touch of elegance. One of them is resin, and the other is metal. In the video, it might look like the GM700 strap is a lead color, but it's actually black, just a very matte black. Compared to the shiny black strap on the G700 GB, it might look darker, but that's just an optical illusion. The GM700 strap is also black, matching the color of the black buttons on the case. Period. The way I'm filming, the light bounces off the matte strap and makes it look lead-colored. It's amazing. So now you get what I meant. That's why Casio used a matte finish on the inner bezel to match the strap's matte black look. They didn't rush it because some people don't like glossy straps, and matte black is more popular, more universal. As for the silver model, the back is practically the same. For example, the white line is the same, and the trapezoid shapes are pure silver without any black lines. What else? The center of the hands also has a white line, but the only real difference is the dot. The GA710 had a dot, and that's the only difference in the background. Remember that the GM700 models come from the GA700, or to be exact, the GA710. For these models, the light only lights up the analog hands, not the digital display. A lot of people have complained, asking why it doesn't light up the digital part, and maybe that was a bit of a miss by Casio. But at this point, they can't change it since the model's already out. It's like saying you'd improve the iPhone 10. You can't. If you want an upgrade, it needs to be a new iPhone with a different version or code. The light here is just for the analog hands. And since the GM700 is based on the GA710, it uses the same light. The light is white, which is definitely better than the old amber light. White lights are always a big improvement, but in this case, like I said, it only lights up the hands. When we compare the light on both, we can see that the light actually looks more even on the GM700, or maybe a bit better spread out. Still, this watch is really appreciated more for its exterior, the casing, the material, and its features, not so much for its light. The gold version looks better because you can see the whole inner face clearly. With the silver one, there are parts you can't see as well. When I compare the light between the GA710GB and the GM700G, I realize that the white line in the middle of the hands actually plays an important role. It makes it easy to spot the hands when the light is on in the dark. That's why it's easier to make out the GA710GB than the GM700G here. Now I'm wondering why Casio changed the white line to a dark one. The code for the gold strap is 780F1216PUR, right? The GA710GB strap code is also 780, but instead of F12, it says G11. On the back, it says GM700G with the G in gold. We can also see that these models come with a serial code. The silver strap code is also 780F12, like the gold one. But the GA7101A silver code is 780, and instead of F12, it says GE62. Also, on the back of the silver one, it has a serial code. From this, I'm guessing all the GM700 models must have a serial code, even though the GA700 models didn't. They were made in China and have the 5522 module code, which is the same module or manual as the GA700. So it's the same movement, like I mentioned earlier in the video. The buckle is squared and reinforced, like on the GX56, and because it's a large case watch, it generally comes with this type of buckle. When it comes to watch preferences, everyone has their own taste. Personally, I wouldn't usually go for watches this big, but I'm really drawn to the gold one. It's bright, shiny, and definitely stands out. If you're someone who's worn a GA700 or GA710 and like the look, I'd recommend these GM700s. They're a step up in elegance and even a bit of status. The GM700 is pretty heavy. It feels like a solid watch. The GA710GD weighs about 74 grams, while the GM700G is 111 grams, which means it's 37 grams heavier, or about 50% more than the GA710. The GM701, the silver one, weighs the same as the gold one. If you enjoyed this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. Thanks, and see you in the next video.